And that wraps up our Christmas Jazz for the Lonely set tonight, my darlings. We hope our covers brought you a little newfound holiday joy. Even though, let's be honest, if you're here, you either hate your family or they hate you. Have a wonderful night, everyone. Excuse me? Oh, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed the set. You'd like to buy me a drink. Sweetheart, I don't need to pay for drinks. But since you offered so nicely and you are quite charming, I'll give you a few minutes of my time. Jamie, can I get a scotch on the rocks? And what would you like, darling? You got that, Jimmy? Make that too. So, what's a looker like you doing in a place like this? On Christmas Eve as well. Well, you don't look like the kind of person who has a habit of hanging around jazz bars solo. Unless this is your thing? Do you have a secret love for lonely Christmas tunes and strong drinks, or is tonight an exception? Ah, I see. Well, let me guess. Family drama. A messy breakup. Don't worry, sweetheart. I won't judge. Something about you says you're not from around here. You've got that je ne sais quoi about you. Or am I reading too much into it? What's your story, darling? Don't give me that I'm boring nonsense. If you were truly boring, you would not be buying a jazz singer drinks on Christmas Eve. So spill. Ah. And is there anyone you do get along with in your family? Right. Well, you've come to the right place. Look around you. None of these people have anywhere else to be tonight. But look closer. What do you notice about them? Yes, they're mostly men, but what else? That's right. They're isolating themselves. It's ironic, isn't it? That the most lonely people of all would still choose to be alone, even when they're surrounded by so many other people. They could talk to each other, make some friends, share their stories. But they don't. They just sit here every year, listen to my set, drink away their feelings, and then go home. Not you, though. You've offered me a drink. Which leads me to believe you're either not from here or not as broken as the people in here. So which is it? I see. Well, I could tell you were a city dweller just from your outfit. Oh, no, you look amazing, sweetheart. Just not typical of the local townies. You like my red dress? Thank you. It's sparkly, isn't it? Well, my main goal is to dazzle and shine on stage, and maybe share a little bit of that light with my audience. Oh, you think it's working? Cheers. So tell me, what do you want from tonight? Were you just trying to escape the noise of the season, or are you hoping for something more? Oh, don't look so flustered, darling. I'm just making conversation. It's part of the job, after all. To entertain, to make people feel seen, even just for a moment. But you're a little harder to read. A little guarded, maybe. Or is that just the city in you? It's funny. You come here to this tiny bar in the middle of nowhere, wearing that sharp, aloof look, and yet you're letting your guard down just enough to chat with the woman in the sparkly red dress. I can't decide if you're brave or just lonely. Maybe both. So here's the deal. You keep talking, and I'll keep listening. Just don't hold back on me, sweetheart. I don't have time for half-truths and vague answers. Not tonight. Tonight, we're all just trying to feel something real. So, let's start with the basics. What is your name, stranger? Classic. And what do you do in that big city of yours? Impressive. Are you the workaholic type? You look like the workaholic type. Someone who never takes breaks, but keeps telling others that they should get some rest. Touché, huh? And what are you doing around here? Do not tell me you came all the way here just to hear me sing. That pickup line will not work. You used to live here? When? Up until you were 10? Wait a minute. Do we know each other? Did we go to school together, or... Oh, we did, didn't we? Oh. Why are you laughing? You knew this whole time, didn't you? Why didn't you say anything? You know who I am. No, it's nothing. I just, I feel a little bit embarrassed is all. Well, I had these big dreams of becoming a singer, and now I sing in bars in my hometown. Oh, you don't have to say that, but thank you. I'm sorry I don't remember who you are. It still doesn't explain why you're back in town if you weren't ever planning on spending Christmas with your family. Wait. Did you used to live on Cedar Log Street? With your grandparents? The Graysons? Because your parents were always away? I do remember you. We were neighbors for a long time, weren't we? And then you moved to the city to be with your parents. Yes, of course. You were always so sweet to me. Whenever my parents would get into one of their big fights and I'd storm out of the house to get some peace, you'd come find me and tell me stories and jokes to make me laugh. I was devastated when you moved. But the Graysons, Oh. So that's why you're here. To collect stuff from their house. I'm so sorry. Is this okay? I mean, my hand on yours. I don't mean to be too forward. It's nice to reconnect after all this time. What happened to me? Oh, you don't want to hear my sappy story. Well, as you know, things were rough at home. My parents ended up divorcing, and I lost focus of my dreams for a long time. Ended up hanging out with the wrong people, doing the wrong things. And now, I'm just trying to do what I love. Back to the start. Why am I not going to celebrate Christmas? Because I don't even like Christmas. It just reminds me of family feuds and pettiness. I'd rather be here with these folks. And I'm not going to give you the whole speech about what a materialistic, capitalistic holiday it is, but it is. You don't like Christmas either? Well, aren't we a good pair? Hey, why don't we have a little anti-Christmas fun? Oh, nothing too dramatic. We could just go around the neighborhood and pull a few pranks. People will be too busy to notice we're up to no good. Come on, it'll be fun. Like the good old days. Relax, honey. We're not breaking any laws. Just bending the rules a little. Think of it as a harmless holiday mischief. Like that one over there. Total eyesore, right? We could rearrange a few of those glowing reindeer. Or make Santa look like he's had one too many. It'll be modern art. Come on, don't act like you're above this. I remember you back in the day, always coming up with the most ridiculous dares. What was it? That time you convinced me to climb Mr. Weller's apple tree? I nearly broke my arm, and you just stood there laughing like a maniac. I miss those days. Alright, enough reminiscing. Back to business. You distract the neighbor if they come out, and I will work my magic on Santa, so you don't have to do anything. Deal? There. Doesn't he look dashing with his butt on the wheel of his sleigh? I can see you trying to hold back a laugh. Just let it out. Ah, doesn't it feel good? Look at that. A true holiday statement piece. It's giving avant-garde Christmas rebellion. You know, for someone who claimed they weren't into mischief anymore, you're having way too much fun. Admit it. You've missed this. Alright, what's next? Should we rearrange Frosty the Snowman over there into a yoga pose? Or maybe turn those candy canes into something a little more risque? Oh, hey, what are you doing? You don't need to give me your scarf. The whiskey's keeping me warm. That's what it was for. No. You're sweet. You've always been sweet.
Well, that wasn't exactly on the mischief agenda. Not that I'm complaining. You're full of surprises, aren't you? First, you show up out of nowhere. Then you take me on a trip down memory lane, and now this. I have to admit, I didn't see it coming. You've got that look again. That spark I mentioned earlier. So, was that a Merry Christmas kind of kiss, or are we starting something here? Because if it's the latter, you've got my attention, babe. How would you feel about coming back to my place and sharing a little more whiskey and stories? Does that sound good? All right. Well, let's go before I freeze my ass off. I live about 10 minutes from here, so we can walk there. Or we could run. How about a snowball fight? Think you can keep up with me?